Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to do the final video of 2024 on leasehold. What's happening? There are some updates. They're not as good as you might be hoping, but you need to know what's happening regardless, because the Leasehold Reform Act was passed earlier this year, just before the general election in what we call the wash-up period. But it didn't quite move since then. It's been stuck. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what is likely to happen. What could you do if you have a lease that is short and you need to extend, or it's getting close to being short? That's important that it doesn't drop below the 80 years, because otherwise you're going to end up with something called marriage value. And we're going to talk about all of that and more in this video. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've got new property content every single day. We talk about house prices, we talk about mortgages, we talk about leaseholds, and we talk about property investing and much, much more. And let's get some new views on this video, because this is one of the most popular topics on this channel. So if you could take a moment to smash like or tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that will get more people aware of what is going on, and that's important. So, leaseholds, what a pain they can be. Trust me, I did a lease extension this summer, so I know your pain. I know the dilemma you go through when you're looking at doing a lease extension and you're like, should I do it now when it's more expensive, or should I wait an indefinite amount of time in order to get all the benefits that they talk about in this new act? So in the summer, there was something called the Leasehold Reform Act. Reform Act. That came law, and it was pretty good. Like, it was a lot better than what we had. Some of the stuff was not so good, but what the main topics were, and they were covered in that, was the opportunity to extend your lease by 990 years. Why is that good? Well, it means you'll never have to do it again. Your children will never have to do it again. Your grandchildren, great-grandchildren will never have to worry about extending a lease ever again. It makes it closer to freehold. In fact, I've got a number of leasehold properties, and I've got some that had these 100-year leases, and I've got some that had 999 years already. But this would mean lease extensions that happen after this becoming law. So this is law, but we need some secondary laws to be passed for it to be active. After that happened, you would be able to get a 990-year lease, which would really, really help. That would probably increase the value as well, it would probably get closer to a freehold valuation. It wouldn't be as close for sure, but it would definitely help. What else is there? Well, the big thing with lease extensions is something called marriage value. And so marriage value is when a lease drops below 80 years. After that, say you get to 79 years, at that stage, any increase in the value you will be paying to the freeholder. So let me give you an example. So let's say you've got a flat that's worth 200k, and with a short lease, it drops massively in value. So it's now worth 100k because you've got a short lease. Why is it worth less? Well, less people will buy it. Some mortgage companies just won't lend on it. In fact, most won't lend on it, which I think is ridiculous. Like, you could have a property with a 79-year lease, and the amount of lenders goes from hundreds to about 5, which is insane. And the rates go up significantly as well. So here's what happens, right? It's now worth 100k. So if you extend the lease back up, put another 90 years on it, it's going to be worth 200 grand again. Brilliant. So how the valuation on that, the cost of extending, is half of the increased value, and the increased value in this scenario is £100,000. That means that it will cost you £50,000 to extend that lease. 50k, which is a lot of money. Lots of people don't know about this. Yes, they should understand it when they buy a property, but they don't. Maybe their solicitor didn't explain it to them properly. There's tons of reasons why people don't realise why this is. Now, imagine if you have a flat in Kensington. This could cost 500 grand to extend the lease. And there are some where it's hundreds of thousands of pounds to extend the lease. If you do one in Doncaster, it's not going to be anywhere near as much to extend the lease. But the marriage value is a problem. And the Leasehold Reform Act promised to get rid of the marriage valuation. So what happened was, in October, I did a video where the Association of Conveyancing Solicitors, they have their annual conference. And at that, they spoke about this and they said, this is going to take years. So the government passed the law, everyone was excited, and we're all thinking, well, this is going to go through now, but you need the secondary laws, all the finer details sorted out in order to understand how this is going to work and how to actually implement it. So what happened in that scenario is that now this isn't moving forward. The solicitors are saying, we don't know when this is going to act and when this is going to happen. So what they did a survey of the solicitors, and they said to them, would you recommend, if you had someone with a short lease, that they extend now, at which 40% of them said they would, or 60% of them said they should wait because the new terms are going to be significantly better. But that doesn't help the person with a short lease that might not be able to remortgage and now is on a massive variable rate. This is a problem for a lot of people. So the Leasehold Reform Act is passed. The government did a session the end of November where they started to speak about this. And what they're saying is certain little bits of the act will go through quite quickly. So one of them that will go through fairly quickly is something called the 2-year rule. What does that mean? The 2-year rule is when you buy a new leasehold property and it has a short lease, or you want to do just any extension, could have a long lease. But if you want to buy a leasehold property and you want to extend the lease, you have to legally wait right now 2 years. A long, long time. It's stupid and pointless. Doesn't make any sense. But right now, that's what you have to do. That will get abolished. Freeholders aren't massively bothered by that, so that will just sail through. What will also come through is the ground rent already went through. So if you extend your lease now, you do not get ground rent. That gets abolished. And what might go through is small little challenges to service charge, giving you a few more rights on those things. But the main sticking point, the complicated part, which the government have said at the end of November is going to take the time, is the 990 years to figure out that. Is it fair? There's some challenges in the courts on human rights for the freeholders. Are they being unfairly penalised by that? And the harder part is the marriage value. What's the new calculation going to be? The government said in the legislation that it would roughly cost half the price. So in this scenario, it's 50 grand to extend your lease. It would drop to 25. Still a significant amount of money, but nowhere near what it was before. But that also needs to be figured out. The landlords and the freeholders are challenging that, saying this is against their human rights. So this is going to take a while. It is something that's not going to happen quickly. So I did say, what would you do if you do need to extend and you can't wait? There was 2 options. One, go to a broker and talk about lenders that will lend to you with a short lease. Get a 2 or 5 year mortgage on that. If you've got like 60, 70 years left, there are lots of lenders, 5 or 6, that's not loads, but plenty, that will lend to you. And they're about 1% higher interest rates than normal deals from like HSBC and people like that. It will get you off the variable rate and give you breathing time to think about it. So that's one option. Next option is to do an informal extension. This is what I did. My extension was going to be £24,000. I went to the freeholder and I said, I'm not going to pay you £24,000. I'll wait. I will wait until this happens. This law is activated. I'm not in a hurry. Or give me this option. I'll extend for 14 grand. It's probably going to drop to 12. So you'll get more than you'll get if you wait. You'll get your money now, which a lot of people do want. And I also want, obviously, I tried to extend to 990 years. They weren't interested in that. They gave me an extra 90, but I'll be dead anyway by then. So that's what I did. I just did an informal thing. I offered them slightly over what they will get if they wait. And I explained to them all of this. I showed them details, sent them some articles that I found in the Financial Times and what actually will happen in the future. They thought about it and they said, you know what? I'd rather have 14 grand today than wait 5 years for 20 grand. So that's what we agreed. Now they could say no. You can't force them to do that. So you've got to present it in a way to them that says, look, you can have this much money today or you can wait. Some landlords will take it. I've spoken to solicitors about this and they're saying that this is becoming more common now, and it's now up to 75% of freeholders are taking a revised offer because they'd rather have the money in their hand today and the option to go and spend it on something else. So do that as an option. Let me know your thoughts, opinions. Have you done an extension recently? What happens? Do comment below and let others know. Do smash like, do subscribe. Check out all the other content on my channel, including this video right here.